That man is a legend.
I think Chef Boyardee's from Torino, right?
Why do you
He's the head chef of the Juventus team.
I'm disgusted right now.
Well, Chef Boyardee?
You shouldn't be because it's delicious.
No, it's not.
That's Torinese food, no? That's what they feed the Juventus
You're lucky
players.
I know that both of you are kidding. Because imagine if I didn't know you.
Yeah, who said we're kidding?
Yeah. Fettuccine Alfredo is the best Italian dish there is.
Stop it.
Sicilian pizza?
Make it stop.
Oh, it's the best pizza.
Yeah.
It's the best pizza. Best pizza I've ever had was in Venice.
No, it's not.
This is incredible pizza.
No, stop.
The best.
Venetian pizza?
Venetian pizza. That's
I'm
right.
getting heated right now.
What do you think is the best pizza?
Napoli. In Napoli. Pasquale's Pizza.
I don't
Definitely
think so.
here.
Nah.
Pasquale's Pizza. For sure.
Oh, Pasquale. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, see?
I love Pasquale.
We've got
And
quite a few
where are
good
they
spots here.
from?
Yeah,
Napoli.
but nothing beats Neapolitan.
They're
Like
from
Pasquale.
Napoli.
Yeah.
And it's delicious.
Yeah, and he also told you to
Yeah, he
take
did.
off that crap that you
Yeah,
wear
he did.
to his restaurant.
Well, he told you the same thing.
Yeah, because I was
Oh yeah,
forced.
that's right. We never even really got a chance to talk about that. You guys finally went through with your bet.
Mm-hmm.
Rui threw on the Juventus jersey and bought Joe some
Pizza and beer.
Beer and
Yeah.
the jersey.
Well, what kind of pizza did he end up getting you?
Oh, he got me the
Was it the pineapple
classic-
pizza?
No.
Ah,
That's
Margarita.
not allowed.
Okay.
It
All right.
matters
pineapple
Just
pizza.
making
Is that
sure.
what he
Just
said?
making sure.
Pineapple?
It's
Yeah.
a
You and
Pasquale's
that garbage.
Pizza.
You're the one who likes the pineapple
Listen,
pizza.
listen,
No,
pineapple-
it's garbage. It's absolute garbage.
It is
It does
Okay,
not belong
it's
on
not
pizza.
real pizza. All right, when you order American pizza, it's not real pizza. You get Big
you-
Tony's
are you
pizza, you
trying
get
to say
Ronzo's, you get
Domino's is
Domino's.
not
It's
real
not real pizza. No, it's not real pizza. Papa Gino's, Pizza Hut.
Guy,
it's
that's
not
like
pizza.
saying SpaghettiOs is not real Italian food. That's bullshit.
I hate you.
Well, in some parts of Italy, that is.
Stop it. No.
It's pretty close.
No, we're stopping this now.
All right, no. Hold on. Finish your.
No, all right, listen. I would never, ever tarnish a Neapolitan-style pizza
I know you wouldn't.
with pineapple.
I believe you.
There's only one way that I eat a Neapolitan-style pizza, and it's margherita. That's it. Margherita pizza. That's it. No other way. I'll try if someone else gets something else, with the arugula and the prosciutto and the 4-cheese pizza. Yeah, I'll take a slice. But I always get mine classic margherita pizza.
You can't beat that.
That's my favorite. And there's nothing in this world that's better than an original margherita Neapolitan style pizza.
Shout out to Pasquale's.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, where did you guys end up going?
Pasquale's.
Was it Pasquale's?
Yeah, and we almost got thrown out of the restaurant because I was forced to wear that crap that Joe made me wear. And
Oh, you lost the bet, so.
They had the game on too. It was kind of fitting, actually.
Yeah, it was. It was a great time. It's the best.
So-
The best
we
best
gotta
food
at least
around.
Three of us.
We
will go
really do
back.
need to take Dylan there. We do need to take him there.
Absolutely.
But
Should we
anyway,
jump right
fellas,
into it?
we are back. Welcome back to another episode of the Red Card Report. We are back from our little winter break.
Yeah.
Holidays are over. Christmas, New Year's officially done, and the big news that's really happening in the soccer world is the transfer window. That's really the biggest thing going on right now.
Yeah, it's the only thing. going on right now.
Really the only thing going on right now. The winter transfer window is open. It's open for another couple of weeks?
Yeah, I believe in most leagues it ends at the end of the month.
The
Some places
31st.
it's sooner. But overall, it's
pretty much the
leagues
31st.
Yeah, it's mostly.
I think
the
Serie A
31st.
bumped it back to the 31st, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So still got a couple of more weeks. A lot of moves are still going to be made. There's a lot of potential transfer moves that could happen. Maybe it'll be pushed off until the summertime. We shall see. We still have some time. But
I feel like that's the theme for this winter transfer window, though, is that a lot of the moves are being announced now, but they're not going to actually happen until the summertime.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they're getting all the business handled and all the agreements made, and then in the summer they'll actually make the final moves. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, there hasn't been anything groundbreaking. No massive names have been moved as of right now. Who knows within the next couple of weeks? But some of the ones that have officially been transferred right to this point, we have Alphonso Davies, the Canadian, who was originally playing for the Vancouver Whitecaps. He actually just got transferred to Bayern. And also moving to Bayern was Benjamin Pavard,
I remember reading about
who
that.
was
yeah.
with Stuttgart
Right.
Correct me if I'm not pronouncing that the right
No,
way.
you got it right.
You got it right?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, German word you got right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hardest German word.
Couple of the other ones are Portuguese native Pep is coming back from the Turkish league. He's going back to Porto,
Oh yeah.
which is Rui's very happy about that. And I think the last big name is Diego Godin from Atletico to Inter.
Yeah.
There's been
Huge move.
on top of those four, Mauro, Icardi, and Higuain are also in some transfer talks. Both possibly going to Chelsea.
And Eden Hazard might be on his way out too.
Correct. Yes. Well, and not
a lot of rumors.
Icardi and Higuain wouldn't be going together. It's almost going to be
It's like one or the other.
Either, yeah,
Or maybe neither.
or
And,
neither.
Yeah, these are all rumors, guys.
I mean, I guess just to start with the first couple of names, Alphonso Davies and Benjamin Pavard over at Bayern. Those are kind of big moves for Bayern because they
Pavard's
haven't.
massive.
Pavard is a big pickup for them.
Yeah.
How about the clause that they paid for him? 35 million.
Yeah. How old is
Steal.
this kid?
I want to say he's 22, 23-ish. He's young. He's a fantastic prospect. He's been playing well. Stuttgart hasn't been playing well this year. They have one of the worst defenses in the Bundesliga. But, you can make like the Romagnoli case for Pavard. He's been playing well, but the rest of his defense, the rest of his team hasn't. And it's been leading up to a lot of goals allowed this year. I mean, we've seen him in the World Cup.
Yeah, even if you look at his
kid
World
is
Cup
versatile.
performances.
Mm-hmm.
He's naturally a center back, and he can play on the right. He can play defensive midfield.
He played right back for France in the World Cup this past summer, right?
Yeah,
he
and
did it.
he flourished.
He did a great job.
And not only did he play well on defense, this guy was contributing on the attack.
Yeah, he scored one
Which
of
is
the goals
very
of the
unique.
tournament. He scored a great goal.
Oh, incredible shot against that strike against Argentina.
All the way in the bottom corner. Far corner.
just
man.
curved.
It was awesome.
It's like he came off like the outside of his foot, that volley, and just bent.
I don't mean to like interrupt the tangent that you were going on with Pavard, but this just popped into my head. Like, what for both of you guys? What do you think? What sort of position is he gonna occupy at Bayern? Is he gonna be a right back? Because that's Kimmich's position, isn't it?
Right, but this year Kimmich has actually been playing defensive midfield.
Yeah, because he can.
He's capable of it. I mean, he's so versatile. He can play almost anywhere on the pitch. They've been using him a lot alongside Goretzka this year as a defensive midfielder, but I think his true dominant natural position is right back. Pavard's not gonna join Bayern Munich until the summertime.
Yeah, they just finalized the deal now.
I believe depending on what happens to Boateng and Hummels, I believe one of them is going to stay next year. We might see three center backs rotate between Sule, Hummels, or Boateng.
Mm-hmm.
I believe only one of them are going to stay, and then there's going to be Pavard in that mix. If not, you can also have Hummels and Sule, or Hummels or Boateng and Sule, and then you'll have Pavard at the right back position, and then force Kimmich to the more of a defensive midfield position.
Yeah, maybe they're even just trying to give Kimmich some competition for that position.
Yeah, but you don't want to put Pavard on the bench just as a right back. You want to get him involved somehow because his natural position is center back.
Sure.
Who can play right back. Here's another thing too. We mentioned few episodes back when we did that whole episode on Bayern Munich where they haven't really been going after these young players.
It's a very old squad.
It was a very old squad.
Veteran squad, yeah.
Yeah,
you can say
veteran
old,
squad.
it's the same thing.
And it's like they've been so reluctant to spend on players to bring to the club. Like we saw them loan out Renato Sanchez. It didn't work out the first year. Then they loaned him out to Swansea. It didn't work out there for him. They sold Douglas Costa, who's pretty young.
Yeah, they did.
Like in that, he's what, like 26, 27 years old?
Yeah.
Around that age.
Mm-hmm.
They sold him. Then they restructured. Oh, they re-signed Rafinha. They re-signed Robin. They re-signed Ribéry. These old players that are far past their prime. And it's like, where's this young team?
Right.
Where's the future? Where's the new era? Where's the fresh blood? The fresh legs?
So this is where that's Bayern's director saying, "Oh yeah, Pavard's the guy who's going to jumpstart that young player revolution." Him and Alphonso Davies too.
Yeah, Alphonso Davies is 18 and Benjamin Pavard is 22.
So yeah, they're definitely going for youth on that one, and that's so awesome. It's awesome to hear another North American making it into the European elite, so to speak. That's a huge move from the Whitecaps to Bayern, dude.
Yeah, the kid has potential. This kid is really good.
Hopefully, he gets enough playing time. I bet you.
It's gonna take time.
So.
It's gonna take time.
So my question for you guys is, with these two young signings, what does that mean for Bayern's future, and also how does this impact their veteran players moving forward? Not only for this year, but in the following years, in terms of either playing time or maybe transferring from the club, staying with the club. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, as for the veteran players, Joe, I believe Robin and Ribéry. I know Robin came out and said that this is his last year at Bayern Munich. I believe this is also Ribéry's last season too. Yeah. This is it for them. So after this year, those two are going to be going to a new location. They're going to be playing ball somewhere else, and this is going to make room for the younger players. And I don't think Bayern is done.
Both Ribéry and
Robin
are wingers, and Davies is a winger.
Davies is a winger, yes.
So,
and
he's young. I don't know if he'll get starting time.
No,
right from the beginning.
He won't, because they still have Gnabry and Coleman.
He'll eventually turn into the replacement for one of those two guys.
Yeah, eventually, if things don't work out with Coleman and Gnabry, yeah, that's definitely a possibility. On top of that, I think Bayern is actually finally taking the proper steps for their new era, for the future. They're looking at Jadon Sancho from Borussia. They just happen to do that to Borussia Dortmund all the time. They always look at their young, promising guys. They always find a way to, just to pick up their flourishing players like Hummels and Lewandowski and Mario Götze. It's what they do.
Yeah, it takes weapons away from the competition.
Yep, and that's why they've been so dominant over the years. They're looking at Jadon Sancho. They're looking at Callum Hudson-Odoi. A little controversial, spectacle going on over there because Maurizio Sarri is not very happy with the way Bayern approached him.
Yeah,
he had a few comments to say earlier this week, or maybe not even earlier this week. I think it was yesterday.
I'd probably say the same thing though.
But and there's also this possibility of Lucas Hernandez from Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that too.
We heard about it. It died off, and then they just picked up Pavard, and we thought that it was just going to be completely off, but rumors are still lingering around that Bayern might just go all out, pay the 80 million or so, or whatever it is.
So they'll have two French fullbacks.
Yeah, but Hernandez can also play center back.
Yeah. So
and
the two
also
half-backs.
Pavard plays center back.
Yeah, they're both versatile defenders.
Well, one thing that what I'm really impressed with Bayern Munich right now is actually going after Pavard and making this deal happen. I didn't think it was going to happen. There was rumors the last month or so that Bayern is the front runner, this and that, but it was just rumors. But they pulled the trigger on this, and I'm really, really curious to see what's going to happen when they put him, Pavard, and Sule together in the long run.
Yeah.
As a center back duo. It's kind of like the German Bonucci and Chiellini from a few years ago, where Sule is just that disciplined, aggressive tackling machine. Mm-hmm. He's fantastic at it. He's a pure defender, and I think in a few years from now, he's going to be one of the better center backs in the world, one of the best ball winners in the world. And then you have Pavard, who's, he can defend, he positions well, but he's also got that touch where you can create, you can start and ignite a build up from the back, control the tempo, and I think that can be very crucial for Bayern Munich, especially when they have players like Goretzka, they have players like Renato Sanchez that are still growing, and if Kimmich happens to play in the middle, they can start a build up, some kind of communication with those type of players. There's so many young players that are now on Bayern Munich that are very promising, or they are potential signings awaiting.
Yeah.
So I think this is a great opportunity. I think this is a great opportunity for Bayern, and I think they're taking the right steps for the future. Finally.
You want to comment on that quickly before we move on?
I mean, I think Rui kind of knocked it out of the park. It'll just be really interesting to see how the young players kind of take over for the veteran players. It's probably not going to be a pretty start to the season for Bayern. That's what happens whenever you get new.
You mean without the following next year without Ribéry and Robben?
Come the start of the season, I bet you it'll be a bumpy start. It'll take time for the team to gel and all that good stuff. But, if the Bayern directors have faith in the players and faith in whichever coach they still have, like if Kovac is still the coach and blah, 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 then, it could be a really bright future. We just have to wait and see.
Yeah, and it's Bayern Munich. They always find a way. They'll
find a way. They'll be competitive.
The right players. They're always competitive, right? And I think it's going to work.
Yeah.
It always does for them. If they have a year or two off where they're just like not on the money, they always find a way to just pull through.
Right.
Yeah, so moving on to the next name on our list, it was Pep moving over to Porto from, I forget what.
Besiktas.
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 Yep.
Besiktas.
From the Turkish league, yep.
Yep.
Yeah, Besiktas has been having...
They had some financial issues, correct?
Yep. Yeah.
Had some financial issues, and Pep decided to come back home.
Yeah. Mutual agreement between the both sides. Pep understood, and he agreed to terminate his contract along with the club. It was nothing controversial. There was nothing form-related. Pep's been playing just fine over there in the Turkish league. It's just they couldn't afford him anymore. And what other way to finish off your career than going back to the team where you had the most success prior to Real Madrid? And
yeah, I think that's a great spot for him to end up. He wasn't, he was still in good form. He was playing good ball over in the Turkish league after he left Real Madrid, and obviously he's getting it. It's much later in his career. He probably only has maybe, what would you say, 2-3 years left?
Yeah, the max. He's 35
max,
already.
Right. Yeah. So
I think he's got one more Euro left next year. Yeah,
maybe.
Portugal's really lacking on defense, so yeah, I think he's going to be there. And he's still playing well. He's not the same defender as he was in the past, but
well, he's still effective.
Yeah,
he's in the twilight of his career.
Yeah,
he's in the twilight of his career. He's definitely on the downswing.
Yeah,
but that's not to say that he's a bad defender. He's still a good defender. He still offers a lot of experience at the top level, and Porto. It's a very, very fitting move for Porto, and I think it's a good move. It shows that they still really care about their club legends, and they're really giving him that opportunity to retire with the club where, as Rui said, he had the most success. So
prior to
prior to
Real Madrid, yeah.
So despite his age, like we had mentioned, he is getting much older. He is, would you say, 35?
35, yeah.
He is still playing good ball. So how does that impact Porto's back four right now?
Oh, it just
what does their back four look like moving forward for the rest of the year and next year?
It just helps. It helps more. You're adding a much more experienced and talented and quality player to that defense. Porto's been playing great this year. Their defense, their young stud Militão, the Brazilian 20-year-old, who's originally a right back, naturally a right back. He's been playing the center back position, and he's just flourished. Absolutely flourished this season. The Porto's back four consisted of Alex Telles, Militão, Felipe, and Maxi Pereira. Now with Pep's going to take Militão's place, and they're going to put Militão back into the right spot position, and I think that's perfect for where Porto for what Porto wants right now. I think they're going to be even stronger that way, and it's going to add more depth on that fullback position because they've had Corona, who's a winger, kind of like what Cuadrado's doing at Juventus.
Yeah,
dropping back at right back at times.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not the right move, and yeah, it's good to have a player like Maxi Pereira who's in the wrong side of his 30s. He's past his prime. He's still solid, but he's a good player to come off the bench because he can play left or right back. Just adding more depth, more talent, more experience, a winning defender, and another character and leader into that locker room. I think it's a great move for Porto. Great move.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm looking forward to seeing is the impact he'll have on Porto's Champions League run this year. Obviously, again, we talked about his age, his experience, all that stuff. The experience helps and is so crucial in a tournament like the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, I don't know. What do you guys think? How will that affect their Champions League run, for the rest of the season?
Well, it'll definitely do nothing but help Porto's defense. Rui hit all the boxes, if you know what I mean. He checked all those boxes, experience, still a good defender, all that stuff, talented. But I think where he'll really help the most is he's a leader for that defense. He will be a leader for that defense. And just the amount of experience he's had in the Champions League. They're facing Roma, which Roma aren't exactly in the best position right now in Serie A.
They've been heating up lately, though.
They've been doing better.
The offense has been flying lately.
They've been doing a lot better. Edin Dzeko is still not firing on all cylinders, so there's still a lot of question marks hanging over them. But one thing that actually just crossed my mind is Pep has a history of red cards that have just stacked up, just him losing his head. Mm-hmm. So there's always that element where he could be a liability for the Porto defense. But I feel like in his older age, he has calmed down a little bit. You definitely haven't seen him have as many of those incidents.
We saw it in the World Cup.
We did see it in the World Cup.
It's weird. He was actually being nice to people, to the opposition. And
there was one, I think it was against Spain, though. I think there was one incident where he just he lost his cool, but he didn't get a card or anything. Yeah, but it was it was garbage.
Didn't someone pat him on the back?
Yeah,
that was Benacia. That was
Benacia
against Morocco.
Yeah,
Morocco.
And he went down really soft.
But it was weird. Like throughout this tournament, he was just like,
it's like, wow.
I was watching this guy. He's like, why is he being so nice to the referee? Usually he just loses it.
But that was the only incident that I could think of recently. But sometimes people never change, and who knows? Maybe Pep won't change. But he, like I said before, he hasn't had an incident like that in a very long time. But there's always that chance. So I guess overall, it's a plus. It's a plus for Porto. They'll definitely be a little bit more secure at the back. That's all I got to say.
I think so too.
Believe it or not, Joe, I know you had mentioned his red cards. Throughout his entire career, he has only received direct red cards. He has only received 5 in his entire career.
Yeah, but that guy has a lot of yellow cards.
Yeah.
Oh, his yellow cards are definitely up there. You want to take a guess how many yellow cards the guy has?
85.
For his career?
Oh, that's... yeah, more than that. It's got to be in the hundreds. It's got to be in the hundreds.
We're just thinking strictly like Real Madrid here. That's what I mean.
Because I know from I remember in the Euro in 2016. So he was at Real Madrid from 2007, and at that time, 2016, he had 78 yellow cards just with Real Madrid.
Right.
Now I can only imagine it's probably 90, 100.
Yeah. How many is it, Dylan, for his career?
For his career, total number of yellow cards, 124 yellow cards.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Jesus.
I just remember whenever I think of Pep, I think of that one incident that he had with Real Madrid where he kicked the guy in the back. Well, no, he had multiple, but this is the one I think of first. Is when he just kicked
9.
He kicked the dude in the head. I forget who it was against.
Yeah, he and
that was garbage. And I forget,
stomped on
he
guy's groin.
Stomped on them.
Yeah, no, it's just it didn't stop.
How do you remember how long he was out? How long his suspension was?
That I have no idea.
I think it was hefty. It was definitely it was
quite some time.
But he's definitely a different Pep.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit different. I think he's more experienced. I think he learned his lesson also from the 2014 World Cup where he got sent off against Germany. He has to keep his cool.
Yeah.
In the big games because Portugal suffered against the U.S. in the second match without him.
Right.
They let up 2 goals, and I think he could have made a difference if he was there.
In Pep's defense, do you want to know Ramos's numbers?
Oh,
for red cards and yellow cards?
Guy.
Ramos didn't have a red card in 2018.
And he scored over 100 goals, too.
In his career.
For
a second, I thought you were going to say this year, Joe.
I hate that guy.
So Ramos, for his career, direct red cards, he's got 7.
Okay.
Do you guys want to take a swing at how many yellows he has?
172.
More than Pep.
206 yellow cards for Sergio Ramos over his career.
That guy's such an ass. He's such an ass. And how about all the yellow cards that he never got and should have got?
Should have got.
Absolutely.
He probably would have been booked another 1,000,000 times. Get out of here.
But
yeah, that's pretty much it on Pep.
Right.
Pep. Yeah. I mean, Roma's been pretty much firing from all cylinders. Lately, they've been putting the ball in the back of the net.
They're doing better.
They're doing a lot better. That young kid, Under. That's his name. Under.
Yeah.
And then Zaniolo. Zaniolo's
dude,
been incredible.
He's their signing of the summer right there. Zaniolo's doing great.
What an incredible signing. So Porto's got to look out for that too. I mean, they're playing pretty hot right now. You never know, but I think with Pep and just adding more depth to that defense, it's just going to help them out.
Yep.
I still think Porto's going to go through.
All right, moving on. Diego Godin to Inter Milan.
Ugh.
From Atletico to Inter Milan.
Makes me sick to my stomach.
So it's a transfer, but it's actually not happening during this transfer window.
Right.
So Diego Godin is going to finish this season with Atletico Madrid, and he will be with Inter for next season.
Right. It's a huge move by Inter signing Godin. That's a massive move. One of the top 3 defender on a free, quote unquote, free transfer. That is great business by Inter, and they already have a really good defense, so that just makes it even better. They're going to be putting They're going to be putting Skriniar, De Vrij on the bench. That depth there is huge.
Yeah. Well, Miranda's done.
He's a replacement for Miranda for sure.
That's what it is. And
a 32-year-old center back who is still one of the elite center backs in the world, who will probably give you 2, maybe 3 more years of elite play, probably 2.
Yeah.
For a free transfer.
We'll see how this year ends, but I think he'll play great next season for them. I think he'll adapt well, and he might not play all 38 games, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But
he'll definitely get his starting time, and
he's played quite a bit for Atletico this season.
Yeah, and I think for the Champions League he's going to be used the most because he has so much experience and success there. Yes, he hasn't won a trophy, but he's brought his team very far into that tournament a couple of times, and I think one other time to the semifinals.
Yeah.
So, this guy has been there. He's done it. He has the experience. He has the quality, and he has great leadership skills. So it's only a plus for Inter. It's a great business move.
Here's the other thing that people haven't been mentioning, and it's definitely a possibility. I've heard rumors, and keep in mind rumors, that with Diego Godin moving to Inter, it's a sign that maybe Luciano Spalletti, Inter's current coach, isn't going to be there next year. That they're going to try and sign Diego Simeone from Atletico. That is just a rumor, but if you really think about it, it makes a little bit of sense. Inter want to compete. They want to compete on all fronts, and Diego Simeone would be the guy to do that. He would definitely give them the experience they want in the league, and he has a Champions League pedigree. He's done well there. Like you said,
in the Italian league too.
Yeah, he played for Inter for a number of years, so he has ties to that club. So it would be like,
and he speaks the language as well. So
right, so he'd be coming home, and he'd also be in the same league as his son, which is bizarre.
And he probably, if he does go to Inter,
he'd be facing his son, or do you think he'd buy his son?
His son's a young prospect, so he might.
You think they'd buy him? That would be crazy.
Could.
It wouldn't be the first time that ever happened, but yeah, you see how that sort of all kind of makes sense.
Milan's not too far from Firenze.
No, Italy's not that big a country. Nothing's ever that far. But yeah, so you can see how all of that makes sense. Just a rumor, like I said, but we'll see at the end of the year what actually happens.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, this is a great move. Great move for them.
Yeah. And that's about it on Godin.
For a good couple of years, De Vrij and Skriniar will only just get better under him.
Last but not least, Mauro Icardi and Higuain, both rumored to possibly move to Chelsea.
Yep.
Among other destinations.
Yeah, and Chelsea's only going to get one of those. Those are the only...
if they get...
Yeah, if they
could be neither of them. It's purely just rumors at this point. It's kind of why we saved it for last.
This is also assuming that Icardi doesn't sign a new contract with Inter. His wife
so many things going on in this whole spectacle here.
He's demanding a new contract.
Yeah, he skipped practice.
He showed up late.
Or showed up late.
He got fined.
That's a really garbage move for a captain.
That's Marotta.
That's a garbage move for a captain.
Yeah. But his wife / agent is trying to get him a new deal. She's trying to get leverage wherever she can. If Inter were smart, they would do everything they can
to keep him. Yeah, of course.
Because he's not making anywhere near the amount of money that
he should be making.
The top players in Serie A are making.
And the FFP is knocking on their door.
So Inter's in the hot seat to try and keep him.
FFP, remind me again,
financial fair play. Yeah. It's just a set of guidelines that all the clubs
not that they're like, in hot water. It's just, they're just ringing the bell.
Yeah.
Ringing the doorbell like, hey, watch
UEFA's knocking on the door being like, hey, you can't really be doing all this stuff, Yeah. So, but like we said, we don't know anything about Icardi potentially moving. There's a lot of complications with this. This is assuming he doesn't sign a new deal. This is assuming that Chelsea are willing to pay his release clause with whatever money they have. This is also assuming that they don't sell Eden Hazard, or they do sell Eden Hazard to Real Madrid or whoever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things.
I think Chelsea's only hope of keeping Hazard is getting a player like Icardi to convince him to stay.
Investing in the future and
maybe. Because
young talent.
Higuain's not the answer,
No, that is true. But I know Hazard also he loves playing for Maurizio Sarri. He loves the style that he has. But then, like you said, that might not be enough to convince him. Real Madrid was his childhood club. He's always said he wants to play there one day. Maybe they just buy him. Who knows?
And he also said in the beginning of the season, to win the Ballon d'Or, you have to play in Spain.
He did say that.
So it's like,
Can we touch a little bit more on Higuain? Because that's a really interesting deal, but a very complicated one.
What would be the benefit of bringing Higuain to the club?
So Higuain is still a really good striker. Definitely one of the best in Europe. He knows Sarri's system in and out because he's played for him before. So it would be, he wouldn't need to learn anything. He would fit right into the team. He's still a 20-plus goal a year striker. He has a fantastic work rate. He'll give you everything. So the only real roadblock for Chelsea is probably his wages because he makes a lot of money.
He does. He makes a lot of money. If he were to transfer to Chelsea, that would actually automatically make him the 5th highest paid player in the EPL.
Yeah. So that
behind, I can pull it up here.
Yeah.
Behind Alexis Sanchez at number 1, Ozil, Pogba, De Bruyne, and he would be in between De Bruyne and Lukaku. Lukaku's currently at number 5 right now.
Wow.
So that's honestly, aside from his age, he's not. Here's how I look at it with his age. He's 31, but he's a young 31. He's not. He doesn't really show any signs of slowing down. He's still running all over the pitch. He's still putting in his defensive time. He's running from defense to offense.
He just turned 31. Just to back up your point. Yes, he turned 31 in December. So he's a young 31, correct.
So he's not showing signs of slowing down, and that's important. He still can contribute. And I feel like if he went to Chelsea, they'd get their money's worth. He is worth it.
I don't think he's worth it. I don't think anyone worth 50 million is only good for 2 seasons and then that's it. Yeah, Higuain is still a good player. I think he'd play great at Chelsea. The cost is just, to me, it just doesn't make sense for Chelsea to get a player, spend 45 million or so just to get him, and then pay an outrageous amount of money for his wages. On top of that, you're still looking forward to paying wages and keeping Eden Hazard alongside with him. It just doesn't make sense. Chelsea has a history of not giving an extension to players, a long-term extension to players that are in their 30s.
True.
31, 32 years old. And once Higuain gets there, I think he only has 2 years left on his contract. Once he gets there, he's going to want an extension. And what's Chelsea going to say about that? What are they going to do? That's a possible situation. That could be a dilemma in that locker room within that organization. And I don't think it's something that they want. Higuain can be a short-term fix, a more cheap fix for the short term, but I think right now Chelsea's really got to look into the long term if they want to keep Eden Hazard on that team. I think that's their number one objective. They need to bring in someone that could work alongside, that can build a good chemistry and take a little bit of the workload off of Eden Hazard, because he's just doing too much for this team. Without Eden Hazard, this team is just not very good. Mm-hmm. They'd be behind Manchester United, which is saying a lot because Manchester United this season hasn't been good. They've been picking it up, obviously, since sacking Mourinho. But being behind Manchester United wouldn't be good at all. It wouldn't be a good sign for the club. And Hazard's just is having the best year of his career right now.
Yeah.
And Hazard is 27. He's pushing to the the late 20s. He wants to be on a championship winning team. And by championship, I mean
Champions
League. Not just the EPL. He already has that. He already has that under his belt. He wants the Champions League.
At least Chelsea are targeting the right people for the job, because they know that they need a better striker, and they're targeting two of the best strikers around. So at least they're doing that right.
Yeah, they're doing that. But that cost for Icardi is gonna cost a lot. But you know what? I think it'll be worth it for the club. I think they will succeed. They could be a potential winner next year in the EPL and even in the Champions League. Think about this though. Hazard has been linked to be going to Real Madrid next season. And you know who else is being linked with Real Madrid? Icardi and also Eriksen. So I think Real Madrid is looking to spend a lot of money this offseason.
They are.
Now, put it this way. Chelsea already has Hazard. They just need to extend his contract, pay a little bit more on his salary. Adding Icardi, they're just spending 110 million on a striker.
Yeah. That wouldn't happen in January though. He has a release clause, that's only good for the summer.
Right.
So yeah, that could only happen in the summertime.
Chelsea, I believe they have the money for this move. They need to make something big.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they need to sell Hazard in order to buy Icardi. I don't know.
It's so hard. You look at a team like Chelsea as prestigious and rich and so prestigious, rich, and huge as they are. They're such a big club. And to see a player like Hazard wanting to leave because they're not as good, they're not as competitive as the rest of the big squads in Europe, it's like almost like a waste. And you have the potential of creating something so great at Chelsea with that player if you just go out and find that missing piece to replace Morata.
Yeah.
And they could still sell Morata and get some money in return.
Yeah, they could.
And apply it to a player like Icardi. Now, Higuain would be a great fit for 1 or 2 years, but Hazard will be 29 by the time Higuain would start to fall off a little bit. And Hazard will still have a few more great years. So what's going to happen after that? So they need to invest in something for the long run.
There are definitely pros and cons to both. Definitely pros and cons.
Yeah, my final thought here before we wrap this up. Obviously, Chelsea has a couple of different routes that they can go with this, and we still don't even know if either of these transfers will happen. Personally, if I was Chelsea, if I was the club, I would look to move Hazard in the offseason. I don't think Hazard wants to stay at Chelsea. It's just kind of like a gut feeling. Truthfully, I have no facts to back that up. I don't think he wants to stay at Chelsea. I think he does want to move on to Real Madrid. And they're going to have to move him this offseason in order to get money in return.
Yeah.
Because if they wait and do something for next year's transfer window,
his value will only go down.
His value will go down, or
right.
They'll end up missing out because I think Hazard's going to leave, and if they wait too long, he's going to end up leaving on a free transfer.
Yeah, so that's the worst.
They could get
the absolute worst for them.
So I think
this summer they could get top dollar for a good point.
And that's why I think this summer you try to make plans for your future, or you sell Hazard and you start making plans for your future. You sell Hazard and you use that money to buy the next face of your franchise.
Right. Good point.
But on that note, we will wrap things up. So guys, as always, our Twitter is at RCR_podcast and Instagram is at Red Card Report. And lastly, if any of you guys want to go and on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, whatever, hit the subscribe button, give us a like, give us a review. 5 stars would be much, much appreciated. But definitely, if you guys get the chance, hit the subscribe button for us. It'll help us out quite a bit.
Thanks, guys.
Any final thoughts, guys? Final words?
Nope.
All right, that's it.